Hey, what's up guys, Andy here, and today we're reviewing over Tower of God episode 10 titled Beyond the Sadness. Now, this episode was honestly really good. It had a slower build-up with a lot of little stuff sprinkled in, and then by the end it was like super hype. So, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about in this one. I do want to say, I'm sorry for being gone so long, but this is the perfect episode to come back to, because this is probably going to be one of my longest reviews of Tower of God, if not in general. Now, with that being said, we've got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to waste too much more time. If y'all do enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and let's just jump right into this, because we've got a lot to get on about.
They say you don't go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
So we start the episode off with our intro and title card here, basically. We don't really get a title card with Tower of God, but then we jump right into the story here, and Rack is basically telling them about the slow turtle, or the big mysterious guy who was always with Rachel, just disappearing. And basically in Dorsey just says here, you know, he's never spoke, and he was already with Rachel when we met in the field, so I don't know anything about him. And everybody was just kind of like, how do you not know? But then we cut over to a little bit of a flashback here where Bam is talking. He goes, only 2 wave controllers are going to pass. So when he's making up this plan here, he's like, LaRule is guaranteed to be in. And then the close second is going to be Bam Gray or Horian. I think it's the girl anyway. But she basically tells him here, like, you have nothing to worry about, you know. I'm not going to be advancing on. I don't want to. And she goes, watch out for Ho, and that's what gave Bam the idea to think of this plan a little bit better. We then cut back over to the Chronicles of Yuri getting to Bam here, and she basically tells Evan the ultimatum. Either you get me there before this exam is over, or I'm gonna tear you to pieces. And he's like, ooh, tear? And it was a really funny scene, and I'm just kind of enjoying this little journey for her getting there. We then cut over to basically Rack getting turned into a small turtle, just a little small boy, because he ran into the administrator here and basically was like, oh, I didn't see you there, you're so small, and so he got what was coming to him. And he uses his power to turn Rack into a small boy. And he goes to Kun for help here, and basically Kun's like, my bag can't enlarge you. And basically Kun tells him, you know, I can't help you, and he's like, alright, well, I'm gonna go find Bam and see if he can. And Kun's like, no, don't. Don't even go near Bam. There's no reason for, he can't pass. There's no reason for him to. He got what he wanted. He met Rachel. And that's when they jump into the scene to where Bam comes in and he tells them, I'm gonna be continuing on. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, Rachel was hurt a lot worse than we thought and she'll never walk again. So I'm gonna be her legs to climb the tower. It was a really powerful scene there. Cutting from one powerful scene to the next, Bam asks them for one more favor here, and he goes, basically they want to have a proper send-off for Ho, and they get all together and they have a little funeral for him. And, you know, you could tell everyone here was kind of upset and everything, but, you know, it was really hitting Bam hard there. He even got Rachel to come. And we cut into the scene after this where Bam is talking with Rachel, and she goes, I abandoned you for my quest to see the stars. It annoyed me how persistent you were and you followed me regardless. And I'm not the Rachel you loved. You can leave me. And he was like, I'd never do that, you know. And then we cut into, I think her name is Serena. I had to Google it. It might not be. It might be different in the anime. But she basically is talking here to Shibisu as she's leaving after the funeral and everything. And she's like, not going to tell anybody. So she gives Shibisu her little knife and says, promise me not to die. We then cut over to this bad boy. Okay, so this is Yuga, the Royal Enforcement Division Unit number 67, Lopo Bia Rin, I think. But his whole goal here is to get back the Green Apple and the Black March from Anik. And he runs into Han Sang-yu, which is the test administrator, the one who always drinks his coffee. And he's like, I've been wanting to fight you. I've been bored since no one would confront me. And he goes to fight him, and then, you know, he just gets shut down immediately. And he's like, no, I'm gonna help you. I'll help you because she could be a threat to the tower. I am the fiendish deep sea fish nuisance killer or something like that from Ivankon's floor. Now, this was a really cool scene, because basically he's like, no, you came here, you want to fight me? I don't want to fight you, I want to help you kill Anik. She's a threat to the tower. So that was a really awesome scene, in my opinion, right there. And on the same note, Kun is apparently the favor asker, or the favor helper here, because Lara Rowe asked for a favor from Kun because he's trying to get information about the letter that was sent to Ho. And he's basically like, it had to be someone who knew Rachel and Ho, like, the trap could have only been set by someone who knew them in the situation. But then we cut immediately out of that and we go into the who actually passed, and the fishermen were Dorsey, Anik, Dede Concho, and Blarogue. And then we cut into the spear bearers, which were Rack, Ghost, Paracool, and Alex Ray, but Ghost fails due to not being there. We then cut into the the scouts, which was Shibisu, Hats, and Nare, which is a little girl we haven't seen much of, I don't think, if at all. And then we cut to the wave controllers, and of course it was Bam and La Rule. And then the light bearers, which were Kun, Michelle, Rachel Michelle, but she cannot continue due to injuries. It's against the tower's rules. So immediately following the announcement, some guy stands up and he's like, I was on Team B, how did I fail? And he's like, well, do you want to, challenge it? And he does, and he just gets destroyed by Han Song Yu. And Kun's like, well, I'm not satisfied with the results either. So he steps up, and this was a really fun scene here, because he basically just says here, you passed, what's wrong? And he goes, Michelle Light should be allowed to compete in the finals. And he just starts laughing. He goes, why? And he goes, because my friend wants her to. And he goes, excuse me, a member of the Kun family made a friend? What? And he's like, yeah. He gives him the bad news here, though. It's just, she can't do it. And then Kun stands up. He's like, well, let me take the administrator's test. Because the rules are made by the administrator's will, right? And Lara Rowe had told him that earlier in that conversation, so he kind of knew. But that's when, he was like, what? You want to take the administrator's exam? Do you know how hard that is? And the second problem is only an irregular can negotiate to take that test. Just like the flipping a page of a book, who stands up here. Bam. Bam decides he's going to take this test here. And everyone's kind of like, don't do this. I had to flop my page from my notes. And the secret's out, Bam is an irregular. He's shocked. And, well, he's not shocked. Everyone else is shocked that Bam is an irregular. Because if y'all remember, no one knows that Bam is an irregular besides Rachel. And it was such a cool little fun scene here. And basically, he's going to take the test, and Lara Rowe goes, well, you got a choice. If you help him and he passes, you all will have the easiest climb to the tower with the shortest and quickest route. That's one way to look at it. And also, you'll be branded as an irregular accomplice forever. So you got options here. So basically, Kun refuses to help him. Everybody's kind of starting to come around. They're like, I don't know if we should, but maybe. And, a few people are like, yeah. And then Kun's like, well, I'm not going to help him. And then everybody's like, what do you mean you're not going to help him? And you can tell it's kind of an act here. And he's just putting it on because he's inspiring the troops to actually help. But some of them seen through it, not many. But it was a really good scene. I really love Kun's character, like, a lot. But they say here, Lara Rowe goes, well, I guess it's just time for you to see the results then. That's it. We just got to wait. And we cut into the final scene here where he's looking into this eye, and it goes, we meet again, kid. And this scene is just so cool. That was the end of the episode, though. This one was probably all over the place. I don't know if this review is going to turn out as good as I hope it does. But if it does, cool, more power to me. But with that being said, guys, I hope y'all did enjoy. If y'all did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.
This is our identity.